Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go. Today, I want to talk to you about the engagement funnel. And if you've been following me for a little while, you have heard me talk about this concept before, but I want to talk about the engagement funnel in 2025. You guys know I believe that the best way to convert people into paying clients in an aligned way is creating 4 types of content. I'll get right to it. Engagement content, authority content, authenticity content, and sales content. I've been preaching this for more than 8 years now, and it just works so well. And it literally still works to this day. Yes, there are different ways that we show up online, different platforms, but truly this is the way I still show up in my business. But I wanted to talk a little bit about how it applies to the platforms we use today, specific examples of pieces of content you can write that fall into some of these buckets, and also which of these 4 pieces I feel like is queen right now. And it is a little different than it was 4 years ago. So buckle up and get ready to create some beautiful, compelling content. So let's talk about these 4 things. The reason that it's in a funnel is I'm a big believer in when someone meets us for the first time, whether it's in a networking event, whether it's seeing our reel on Instagram, whether it's seeing a post in a Facebook group, whether it's seeing us because we're guest speaking somewhere, people need to get to know us in some ways slower than we think. And in other ways, it can happen faster than you think, right? A lot of times we accidentally propose to clients, or really we're more afraid to propose to clients on the first date, in the sense of like maybe someone has slid into our DMs and has sent us like a 9-paragraph long sales message. And we're so afraid of being that icky thing that we don't really pitch or sell or be direct about what we're selling at all. And I just find this so interesting, right? We're so nervous to skip all the parts of the engagement funnel and go right to selling that we often don't sell at all. So that paralyzes us from being visible at all, or we're doing a lot of posting, but we're never really leading people to work with us. And this is where I want you to be a detective, a curious detective, and ask yourself, where am I missing my most content in my engagement funnel? Almost think about this like a personality test, because when you can solve for the type of content you're not creating, that's when your content starts to convert like wild. When you're creating all forms of content, all 4 of them. So that's your homework assignment, is as you're listening to this, I want you to come up with what's the one piece that you're like, I don't really do that, or actually that feels weird, or why would I need to create that type of content? Like, watch for the one you judge and or feel the ick about. That's probably the one you need to be creating, okay? So the idea is, the first thing, obviously, when someone meets us at a barbecue, we're connecting. Do people still go to barbecues anymore? I don't know. We're just asking them like, hi, what's your name? How are you? Oh, your daughter goes to that school too. Me too. Like, we're just chatting. The point of some content is literally to do nothing else but to connect and to have someone have a first bit of trust. This is why I think Reels have done so well in this era in short-term video, because think about it. It's a very quick way for people to get a gut level instinct on if someone likes you or not, right? They're seeing your face, they're seeing a little piece of writing. And the cool thing is, as heart-centered entrepreneurs, I think this is to our advantage, because we are kind people. We have good energy. We have integrity. Like, we care. We do good work, right? And so it behooves you to expose yourself, because you make a good first impression. You do. Okay. A lot of times though, we're just nervous to put ourselves out there for whatever reason, a visibility block. But I want you to put your hand on your heart right now and say, 2025 marketing, the internet is working for me. The fact that people have shorter attention spans and are making faster judgments works really good for me, because I have clean energy. I may not have perfect stage presence. I may not have perfect teeth, but at the end of the day, I'm likable. Like I have good energy. And this can be hard if there is a visibility block around, feeling left out or not feeling popular or feeling something about your appearance, right? But know that it's not because you have perfect teeth that people are hiring you. Okay. People are hiring you because number one, they're selfish, not in a bad way, but they think that you can solve their problem, right? And they want someone to solve their problem who has good energy. I was talking about this with a friend the other day that for me, when I'm learning something, whether it's dance or business or whatever, when I'm taking my kids to jujitsu, right? Like, yes, I want someone that's excellent and good at what they do. But guess what? There's a lot of people who are good at what they do. I also want someone with good energy. I want someone that's kind. That way, along the way to learning dance, to my kids learning jujitsu, right? To me getting better in my business, I want to enjoy the process. I want to be around someone kind and honest and in integrity, not someone like nice, surface level, people pleasy. I want someone who is, kind and good and works hard. And maybe they're not perfect, but they always really work to improve and are honest, right? Like that's who you are. And guess what? That shows up. Like people get that about you. Okay. Hand on your heart. I'm someone that makes a good first impression. Say that out loud. Okay. So that's what engagement content is it's just a first impression. Here's some examples of the ways that I do this. In my Facebook group, I just love doing really tiny, silly stuff, right? Something I've always done is like, do you like coffee or tea, right? Like lately I've been doing a little bit more. This borders on the side of authenticity content too. It's kind of engaging authenticity content. We'll talk about authenticity content in a minute, but I try to give an opinion or be funny or, right? Like the other day I had done a thing on how I don't like cold plunges and how there's a new study about how cold plunges aren't that effective or whatever. And I'm like, yes, my hot baths are justified. So I did a silly little one sentence thing in my Facebook group about it, right? And so many people commented it and it was just funny, right? I wasn't selling anything. I wasn't really showing my authority. Yes, that was borderline authenticity content, but really the point of that was just to engage people, to connect, right? We trust people that we can connect with, that we can find something that we can relate to, right? So if I do a post about liking tea, someone else is like, "Ooh, I like tea too." Or maybe they don't have to relate to us in the sense of they're exactly like that, but maybe they're like, "Ooh, just like Anna loves her tea every morning, I'm that same way with my coffee," right? Again, we don't have to be exactly like our ideal clients. Put your hand on your heart and say this. As I reveal my true self online in a way that feels safe to me, it's not that my clients feel the pressure to be exactly who I am. It's that when I'm shining in my radiance as a woman, that will inspire them to be that version of them. As I'm sharing my truth, as I'm sharing my quirks, they feel free to be themselves, right? To find their truth. And I find that that's so contagious. And so for me, I love doing engaging content like questions. This might be a poll in your Instagram stories, right? This might, again, just be something funny. I sometimes will ask people's opinions. I was trying to figure out what sunglasses to buy for my cruise, right? The point of that is literally just to engage people. And also I have a hard time picking things. So I really wanted people's help. Okay. Again, this is so interesting too, because this conversation about ooh, should we give value online or should we sell? Should we do I, if I'm selling to someone, can I really care about them? Or am I care? It can be, both can be true. I wanted to know people's opinions on my sunglasses and also it's good for my engagement, right? Same thing when I ask people's feedback on ooh, which logo do you think we should use for our upcoming challenge? Yes, I actually really care and take that into account. I wouldn't ask if there wasn't part of me that wanted to know, but also it's great for my engagement, right? It's okay for it to be both. There's nothing bad or weird about that, right? But the point of engagement content is number one, to get people to comment on your stuff so that your organic social media algorithm is being bumped up in the feed. And once someone comments on your stuff, they're going to see it more, right? The other point, again, is just for them to get to know you. It's just like a, hey, ooh, you like that too? Ooh, so do I. Oh, you don't like that thing either? Neither do I, right? It's just connecting. So a great homework assignment for this, if you're feeling like this is an edge area, is just writing 5 questions that you could ask, right? Depending on your niche. So if you coach moms, you could be like, "Hey moms, how old are your kids?" Right? Only moms are going to answer that. So it's great because it really calls in and narrows in the engagement of your ideal client. right? I might say like, hey friends, like how many clients do you want to sign this fall or something? Only people that want to sign clients right now are going to be answering that, right? So think about 5 questions you can ask, whether it pertains to business, your niche, or just pertains to your life. Like, hey, who's watching the World Cup this fall? I don't even know if the World Cup is in the fall. Don't come at me. Okay. But let's say you love soccer. I think that's a soccer thing, right? Right? You could say that and see who else is into that. So really just asking questions and in being yourself in that way. Okay. Next is authenticity content and authority content. 5 years ago, authority content and really, when the market was a little bit less saturated, it was very important to share your professional opinion, to teach, to show that you were qualified. I feel like that's a little bit less relevant because people now trust. Back in the day, I feel like people were skeptical, like, why would I hire a health coach, right? Why would I hire a fertility? Now people are like, oh yeah, my best friend hired a health coach. Of course, I'm going to do that too, right? So in some ways, it's a nice blessing that the market is more saturated, that it's more well known because it's a proven industry, right? Just like there's a lot of therapists out there, there's a lot of coaches that like, this is not a problem. But what is the edge now? It is distinguishing yourself. And we do that through our authenticity content, through our story, right? That part is so, so important to do. And so that's what I want to talk most about in this episode is how to get really good at authenticity content, because I feel like it's the content this year, next year, probably in the next 5 years, that's really going to help you convert online. And I want to talk about how to do that, especially like, I had a client the other day that was like, oh, but what about when I'm on my period or feeling low energy or feeling discouraged? Like, of course, do this in a way that feels good to you. If you don't want to show your face on a reel, you can do some B-roll, some background footage, right? But at the end of the day, we need to get better and better at sharing some of this authenticity content. So I want to spend most of my time here today. Okay, so 3 different examples of ways that you can share authenticity content is by, number 1, if you've been in my mastermind, Sell with Heart, I get on you for this all the time, sharing your wins. Authenticity doesn't just mean I'm a hot mess. It also means like, yeah, I'm crushing it and I'm aspirational. Maybe not in every area of my life, but in this one area, I'm proud of this. And not in a way to brag, but to show people what's possible and to share a lesson, right? If you're a website designer, hey, I designed 15 websites this year, and this is the number 1 element that I added for all of my clients that's going to make the biggest difference for them having a website that stands out or converts clients, right? You bragged and you were like, hey, I designed 15 sites. I'm well known. I'm established, right? But you also shared something and gave back in that way. I am a queen at this, okay? I actually do this in almost all of my content. I'm humble bragging all the time because I feel like it's my mission to help heart-centered entrepreneurs know it's possible to make a lot of money, right? To make $200,000, $300,000 a year working part-time hours. It's possible to be a single mom and or have some other life challenge and make a ton of money, right? It's possible to be someone that's very heart-centered, very service, client-centered, and also like making money. It's safe to work part-time hours. It's safe to get divorced from a bad situation. It's safe to buy a home. It's safe to buy a car, right? Like it's safe to be really happy. I'm very happy. I have a beautiful life. And the reason I tell you that is because that's possible for you. And I feel like part of my mission in life, yes, I love making money in this business, but even for people that never buy from me, I hope that I shine a light on what's possible for women when it comes to being able to have financial security, financial independence, happiness, peace in your life, that you are worthy of that, right? And so because of that, I'm talking about all the time how much money I make, what I've accomplished, that I took my kids on a Disney cruise, that I took them to Ireland, that I work 20 hours a week, that I have a nanny, that I dance all the time, that I have amazing friends, I have a beautiful life. And the reason I share that is because I want you to know that you can have that too. And I believe that to my core of cores. And so you probably don't even realize that literally every podcast I'm bragging. I just slide it in. And honestly, now I'm not even trying to slide it in. It just happens. Okay. But when you're starting out with this, one of the worksheets I have my mastermind do is I have them list their wins. And this is a painful exercise if you've never done it before, because you're probably like, oh, I don't have any wins, or, oh, I have that win, but it's not a big deal because blah, 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 right? Like I should have done it earlier, or I'm sucking at this other area of my life. Or the thing about it is until we start seeing the wins and owning them, even within our own heart on a worksheet, we're not even going to see the other, like we're almost blind to our own wins, which is so fascinating to me. And what I find is when clients start writing their wins more and more, the more they start seeing them, right? The more they start sharing them, the more they start believing them. Because as women, right, we just naturally have imposter syndrome. This is something men do not have as much, right? But a helpful exercise for you that you probably won't want to do is listing out your wins and then deciding which of them you want to share. They don't have to be business related, right? Again, it can be around how many clients you've helped, what you've done in your life, things that you're proud of, right? And just really being able to share a lesson in that or a nugget or what you learned, right? Like 3 things I learned from going to see Harry Styles live, right? If you want to be able to brag about going to a concert or something, right? It does not have to be business related. It can be personal related, but it should be something aspirational, right? Put your hand on your heart and repeat after me. Okay. Sharing my wins, sharing the highlights does not make me a bad or inauthentic person. It makes me a more authentic person because I'm already good at telling myself and telling the world how much I suck. Now it's my time. Now it's my turn to tell the world how awesome I am, to be my own marketing and PR committee, to be my own cheer team, right? This doesn't mean that you lie. It just means that you're honest about what you've actually done. And then you let the world decide if they want to hire you or not. But so often you're taking yourself out of the game by not even owning how amazing you are. Okay. That's one type of authenticity content, blah, blah. Another type that I have been leaning so hard into and loving, it's kind of sneaky. You might even not notice that I do it, but sharing my opinion and thought leadership. I think this is working so well online right now for signing clients. I have had so many clients sign up for sales calls with me or some other sales situation, literally telling me it was because of one of the opinion pieces I wrote. Okay. And give you an example, right? A few weeks ago, I did that whole thing on like Dave Ramsey, how that one thing he posted bugged the hell out of me. I don't even remember quite what it was, but I posted on it. I had commented on his feed and I ended up writing an email to my list about it. I did a little reel and I just got so much engagement out of it. Honestly, I wasn't even thinking about engagement at the time, though I believe it's okay to do things for engagement. I was just like pissed at Dave Ramsey. Okay. Oh, you know what it was? It was something about, like women or women's roles that they shouldn't have separate finances or something like that. Anyway, it sent me off. Okay. But that created a lot of amazing engagement. I think I got like 15 people emailing me back from my list, like really long emails and tons of content. And that was me being authentic and sharing my opinion, sharing one of my core values. Again, I'm not saying that everyone has to believe what I believe, but if people believe very differently than what I believe, then they're probably going to unfollow me, which is useful because I don't want someone finding out after they pay me money what I believe. Again, I don't think we have to have complete perfect value alignment with our friends or clients. I think that's a little bit extreme. And I think our world is almost polarizing in that way that like everyone has to believe the exact same thing, right? No. But I think you kind of need to be in like a similar circle, right? Like that. And I think even if someone doesn't completely agree with me, at least they can see and know and respect my opinion and appreciate that I'm someone that speaks my mind. Sometimes I see a woman online, I don't even quite fully agree with everything she says, but I'm like, I can see how she believes that. And you know what? I respect her for that. And good for her for speaking out and for having an opinion, right? I just think there's something like attractive and magnetic about a woman that has an opinion because it means that she is secure, because it means she's not people pleasing, and it means she is not worried. She's not caretaking for people's energy. She's not like, oh, am I going to offend someone? Oh, like, and I think we can get, obviously I've been in the seasons of this before, but we need other people to be happy for us to be happy. So we're worried about upsetting people, worried about people giving us a negative review, or worried about a negative comment. Just no, that's not the energy we're bringing in 2025. We're bringing in our truth, our opinion. And again, it's so useful because then our audience will either be like, oh, that's cool, I believe that too. Or I don't quite believe that, but I respect her for that, right? Like there's nothing more magnetic than a woman that it owns what she believes. And it feels really safe to be around a woman like that because we know her energy is clean and honest. Instead of questioning the motive around, like, for someone that's always people pleasing or always their happiness is dependent on others' energy, that's not really a safe energy to be around because we feel like we can't be honest because we feel like we need to be happy for them to be happy, if that makes sense, right? But as a service provider, we want to let our community know, no, I'm a leader. Like I know what I believe. I was going to stand up for it. And if I change my mind, I'm going to put that online too. And I'm going to be like, actually, I changed my mind. I was wrong. I've done that before. Okay. I've renamed programs when I've accidentally named my program something offensive. Cough, cough, love your tribe. That was offensive. I did not know it. I apologize. I changed the name of that program, right? We make mistakes. It's not that we're perfect. We make things right? But it's safe to have your opinion. And that's so attractive. And start with little things, right? You guys saw probably last week, I also did a thing, on the I don't like the ice bath trend situation, right? I did the thing about, the trend of this and no angry man. I did beliefs I'm not passing on to my daughter, right? I did the things like sales things that give me the ick. Not all of these are that controversial. You don't have to really go out there and be political if you don't want to. But if you do, go for it, right? But I think it's just really flexing your muscle on some opinions you have and sharing them because that's what helps people. Number one, it shows people you have a backbone. Number two, it helps people relate to you. And it really displays your core values. And ultimately, we are friends and clients with people that have an overlap with our core values, right? That's what helps people trust us. So a great homework for this, again, this is all still under authenticity, okay? A great homework for this is writing down 10 opinions you have. I don't care how simple the opinions are. It could be I hate seafood. Right? You start small, right? But really start graduating to things in your business. Like I said, since I talk about selling, I might write things about other people do in sales that give me the ick, right? If you're a health coach, you might talk about weight loss trends that drive you crazy, right? You can call someone out in your industry, right? Again, it's ideal, in my opinion, it's ideal if you mostly focus on yourself and your beliefs and less about bashing people, right? I'm not a huge fan of going in with the energy of bashing someone, but for me, if I need to bash a public figure on the way to sharing my opinion, I'm okay with that, right? In a obviously respectful way. Okay, next thought around authenticity that's really been working for me is, and that's just always been working. You've been hearing me preach this for 8 years. Story. I gave 3 different, I review a lot of content for my clients. I gave 3 of my clients this week feedback on that. This is great. Add a story. Our brain chemistry really actually responds differently when we hear a story. Okay. I see this with my kids all the time. They put on their story podcast. They are immersed. Right? I'm listening to a live theater. I am there. Something about story really draws us in. And so really focus on starting your emails, starting your social posts with a story, right? And it also comes across less lectury and more honest, more relatable, more true. So I did one recently on just packing my bags. I did for a coffee shop that was more behind the scenes content maybe. I did a story on why I picked a small place after my divorce. And it wasn't just for money reasons, right? Again, really dive into past stories, present stories, and really get illustrative with it. Really paint a picture, right? I remember when do you see how I started that sentence? It probably even drew you in as I said it, right? I remember when I was quitting my job at my house, brown matted carpet. I was on the phone with my coach trying to figure out if I should quit my job or not. And I remember holding my son on my hip. He was looking up at me with his beautiful eyes, stuff like that, right? Really put them there in that moment. That is what is so useful for building trust. Okay, I have more ideas, but I want to stop at that for the authenticity because I really feel like it's not for lack of ideas, but it's actually for lack of maybe self-trust or fear that we're not authentic online. Again, that doesn't mean you have to show your kids online if you don't want to. It doesn't mean you have to talk about something traumatic that's happening. In fact, you probably shouldn't, right? If it's present. It just means find ways to show the authentic side of you, okay? All right, last 2 I can go over quicker because I do think those first 2 are the ones that are most lacking online right now for heart-centered entrepreneurs and the ones that are most important, engagement and authenticity. Authority content is teaching. Like we also do want to teach, I believe. I still like putting value content out online. I like doing this on my podcast, right? Like last week when I talked about how to do lazy marketing versus that, right? Right now, this is authority content because I'm teaching you the engagement funnel, right? Here's these 4 parts of content to create, right? I also love doing authority content in the way of swipe files, right? In the way of like a freebie, right? Like I think authority content is working really good right now, not on like the short form social media stuff, but on like the longer term. Like a lot of my clients are loving publishing on Substack right now, right? I love doing a podcast, right? Maybe you have a freebie PDF. I think those are great for delivering authority. Maybe you do a webinar, and in that webinar, right, you are teaching. I think honestly, that is what's working best right now for authority content, like little peaks of it in social media. I saw someone today do something really cool, and he shared like in the caption of his reel, like a little swipe text for pitching a hotel or something to get a free hotel stay, like basically pitching them if you would like share their stuff online or whatever. And I thought that was really interesting, right? Like he was giving just a little bit of authority, like a little swipe tip right there that you could just use that as a template. But in general, I'm a big fan right now of authority in containers. Same thing with sales content. Like, yes, I do love to be direct about like, I have my mastermind, I have my Getting Coach course. Yes, I coach one-on-one. But in general, you'll hear me on social media and in the podcast promoting my free stuff, right? Promoting my free mini session, promoting one of my freebies, promoting my challenges, promoting my workshops, right? Because in general, I think online people are needing more and more trust building in order to buy from us, again, which isn't bad at all. And I think in some ways is nice because it filters clients better, and then your clients are happier and they stick. But it's giving people a longer on-ramp, right? And so it's allowing them to get to know you and then pitching them at the end of a free mini session, at the end of a webinar, at the end of, once they watched you on a reel, and then you're selling to them in your stories or something like that. And so my vote would be to do most of your selling. Like most of the selling that you should be doing is selling your free stuff. Okay. So when I think about the 4 types of content, yes, still do sales content, but you should be selling, oh my God, join this challenge. It's going to be the best challenge ever. Oh my goodness, you have to check out this webinar, blah, blah, blah. Hop on a sales call with me. Even if you don't buy from me, you're going to get so much value. I'm going to give you some free tips, right? Selling the free things. That is what I consider to be sales content at the end of the day. Yeah, sure. Mention your mastermind, mention your services, but in general, sell your free stuff like your life depended on it, like your business, depended on it, maybe not your life. Okay, I hope this is super helpful for you. I know this was a longer one, but I really wanted to go deeper in what I feel like is working. Something else I'll say was just really interesting along the lines of this is don't feel like you're tied into any one platform or type of thing just because you feel like that's the way it has to be done. For example, you might think like, oh, reels are the only way to do authenticity content. But some of my authenticity content that's been performing the best right now is when I do a carousel, so just images, personal photos, and I put text over those images. In the last few weeks, those posts have been performing wild. So good for me. Not just on Instagram, but also in my Facebook group, like a collection of photos that, like I did one on, I'm going back to therapy. I did another one on that one about living in a small apartment. And I just did photos with some text over the photo as a carousel. And then I did more text in the caption, but that performed really well. And I didn't have to do a reel at all for that, right? So I think it's remembering you can do all 4 types of the engagement funnel, and it doesn't have to be tied to any one thing, right? I developed the engagement funnel just when I had my Facebook group. And honestly, now that I'm using Instagram a little bit more, I would say it applies to that just the same, right? And so I really see this as a bigger marketing framework for what converts people. And so it's worth it for you to invest your time in getting really, really good at this, really, really good at this. Your homework is to get clear on which of these 4 areas is your superpower, which comes natural to you. What's your content superpower, right? And also like, what's your content edge? Like, what's the thing that you're like, oh, I need to do more of that one, right? And I can already tell you right now, as a heart-centered entrepreneur in 2025, I would pick engagement or authenticity. Like, because to me, when you have at the start of the funnel, a ton of people flooding in, the authority, the sales, that's a little bit easier, right? That's just the tip of the iceberg. But if you don't have people coming in and engaging with you and falling in love with you in the beginning, that can be very challenging. That's where most people are getting stuck, right? In the Sell with Heart Mastermind, that's mostly what we're working around. Like, how are you building and connecting with your audience, with other audiences? How are you building your community, right? So it's easy for you to convert people all the time. And how are you really showing up in an authentic way, telling your story, sharing your opinion? These things aren't easy. These are brave things to do to get visible. So I get that it's not easy, but also this is the way we make money online. You can do it. I believe in you. Also, I'm not sure when this podcast is airing, but likely early enrollment is coming soon for the mastermind. So if you want my support around this, I am so involved with my clients, reviewing their content, giving them ideas, really helping them figure out, how do I sell out my programs and containers? How do I make six and multi-six figures by marketing in a heart-centered way? And this is it, really mastering the engagement funnel. Whether you are doing this organically, whether you're running paid ads to it, it doesn't matter, because it's all the same. You figuring out, how do I engage? How do I show my authentic self in a way that feels comfortable? How do I show authority? How do I sell? If you master that, you have mastered making money online. And so come chat with me. I'm doing free CEO assessments, 30 minutes, where I help you identify the one thing in your business that's most holding you back. Maybe it is visibility like this. Maybe it's sales. Maybe it's money mindset. Maybe it's team and scaling and growing your group programs. My Sell with Heart Mastermind is for women that either have done for you businesses like OBMs, like accountants, or coaches of all niches. It's a great varied group, but the commonality is it's all heart-centered women, all ethical driven women that want to make a ton of money online and want to do it on a 3-day work week. And I'd love to invite you to join. It's an amazing, amazing group. I think we are on round 12 now, and I always get such amazing feedback and great results from the program too. It's so fun too, because for women that do the program, often they'll come back to me like a year later and be like, oh my God, like I'm still taking things, what I learned, sales concept, money concepts, team concepts, systems concept that I learned in the mastermind, and my business continuing to grow to multi-six figures. I've had clients come in at zero and are making a few thousand that are at multi-six figures now. And so it's so fun to see that transformation. And I would love to have and invite that transformation for you. Feel free to sign up for a CEO assessment session. And it's a no strings attached call. It's just really my opportunity to coach you, to give you some CEO feedback, and set you with a beautiful plan. Okay, have a beautiful rest of your day. And as always, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.